Hello again, friends. If you follow my YouTube channel, you know that I've embarked on a very ambitious project to attempt to get 3 different radios, 1 SINCGARS ASIP and 2 Spearhead handheld radios, reporting their GPS positions to each other. A reminder that this is part 3 of a 4-part series. The first 2 parts have already been published, and this part 3 here is going to be very exciting. A lot of very interesting things to happen. So here's an agenda for what we're going to cover in this part. Basically, it's this integration of the Spearhead radios into the overall net. So first we're going to show the configuration of Spearhead radios, 2 of them. One we're going to give the combat ID of all 3s, one's going to be combat ID of all 1s. We're going to place them on different parts of the property, and we're going to see how they report their locations using the frequency hopping technology, and how they display on the navigation display and the map display on the SINCGARS ECDU. And then finally, we're going to end this video showing a little spectrum analysis of the frequency hopping so you can see it in action. Okay, so here we have the Spearhead radio, and I've zoomed in to the display and the navigation keys. In a previous video, which I'll hopefully link properly, I go over the stuff in a little bit more detail. And so just to go over quickly, power, 0 eyes, which is done in conjunction. You hold the 0 eyes with the down volume. This is the volume up and down. This is PTT. Here's your light display and navigation. Lock is to lock the keyboard. And this is an exit, like to exit out of all the menus. This one, just exit right back to the main menu. So let's turn it on. This takes a while to boot up, so I will fast forward on the video. Okay, so we're up. Now, I have not zeroized this radio in a while, so keep in mind some of the configurations that I'm going to do are probably already set, but I'll walk you through them anyway. So just look at a few things. We're on channel 1. Now, on the top here is a rotating switch that has 6 or 7, maybe 8 positions. And we talked about it's F100 is a hop set, so it's already in frequency hopping mode, and these seem to default in that mode. I think that's the most common mode to set them up in, but you can see that there are others: F200, F300, F400, F500, F600, and this, I believe, is for manually putting in. This is, I think, Q. I think this is for in a frequency hopping situation. I think this is for a Q frequency, which is to get you in, to alert the net control that you're like to join the net. So we'll set it back to F100. Okay, and you see here it's ciphertext, and we're in status mode. Status mode is just your normal display mode. Now, if we push down on this, whoops, now we'll get menu mode. Press down again, and now you can go through all the options in menu mode. The operational setup, channel setup, security, radio operations. I'm not sure the difference in all these, haven't gone through them. Maintenance, this is probably a self-test is in here. GPS display, we'll show that in a little while. And back to status mode. So if we go to op setup, we've got things like RF power. Now let's, for the sake of argument, show that we want to change the RF power. So you would hit the center navigation, which is like enter. No, I'm sorry. You go right, use the right to select. Okay, RF power low currently. And now to change it, you've got to select it. What this middle button does is enables the changing of it or not. So if I select it low. Now I think I go up and down here. High, medium, low. We'll probably change this once I start moving around, which might be a later video. Leave it on low for now. Okay, and then we use this left-hand navigation to go back. Okay, RF power, RF mode. Let's go forward and see what that allows us to do. All right, so we're in frequency hopping mode. If we want to change it, we can go to single channel mode. I hope you can see it's not too much of a glare. But we want, in this case, we want, we want this frequency hopping mode. Enter. Good tells you that it was stored. All right, let's go back. RF mode, ComSec, CID. Now this is, as I mentioned earlier, every radio in the net needs a combat identifier. So let's take a look. Let's go to, whoops, this one is set to be 1000. It really could be anything. In fact, let's change it for shits and giggles. How do I change this? Okay, 0. Let's make it 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And then good. Okay, so now we've set the combat ID of this one to 1. Remember that the ASIP SINCGARS radio we set to 00001. These can be anything. These are 5 digits, and any radio can have any one. You just want to prevent 2 radios from having the same combat ID. I don't know what happened in that situation. Let's go back. Okay, hold on. We were in op setup. Power, RF mode, ComSec, and in ComSec we can go into that too. We're in ciphertext, and I think we did that. Okay. CID, we just did that. GPS mode. Okay, if we go to GPS mode, we clearly want it. We want it to be on. That's important. And the options here are on or off. On or off. Okay. GPS mode, GPX-TX, yes, we want to transmit the GPS, and the options are auto or off or manual. We'll leave it on auto. Okay, and then finally, situational awareness, which means let's send location and receive location. So let's go into that and see our options are on and off. Okay, all good. Let's see what else. Covert mode. Suspect this has something to do with either radio silence, not transmitting, or maybe it has a whisper mode so you can talk more quietly into the microphone. I'm not exactly sure. Time. This is time probably from GPS. Squelch. You can determine. Well, let's go into it. Oops, hit the wrong button. Squelch is on. Off. I guess it's on or off. Language, and back to RF power. Okay, that's really it. Then we can escape all these things by hitting escape. I don't know if we wanted to look at these other channel setup, security, radio ops. I don't know if this is different than the other one. Okay, so you can fill, you could load from a fill gun, ERF load, I forget what this stands for. I forget what that is. Hop set. Okay, so here's where you can set some hop set information. Anyway, but we've done what we need to do on this radio to get started. Then we have to do the same to the second radio, because we want to do that. CID. This one's all 3s. So now we've got all 1s and all 3s. Okay, so what is going to happen now? So what's going to happen? Let's look now at the GPS feature of these radios. So let's go back into let's see, we want to go to GPS display. Now what this lets you do is change whether you want to see the local position, meaning the position, let's get some light on this, the position of this radio, the local, but you could also see the remote radios and whether it's relative, so for example, 50 meters away, or absolute, which we want to get the position, the actual GPS location, latitude and longitude of the remote units. But in this case, we're going to do the local position. Okay, so now we saw this earlier, the east and north, and we just have to wait again for this to get a fix. To do that, I'm going to bring this one outside. All right, I hope this is visible. Let's see if I will have this light on. I hope you can see that. Zoom in a little bit more. This is on a swing. Maybe not a good place to put something when you're taking a video of it. Okay, so you can see I've got 00248 east. I assume that means east. 54616 north. 152 meters. Again, I believe this is roughly my position, my height above sea level. FOM, I have to look this up. I believe it could be the number of satellites. Okay, so anyway, this is showing my location, the location of this radio, the radio we're looking at. Now let's go back and see what else is happening here. One thing I'll notice is if you listen, every 2 minutes we will get a transmission. You'll hear the radio key up. There. You just heard the radio key up very, very briefly. And what it's doing is it's transmitting, in that very brief moment, it's transmitting its location to all the other radios on this net. And I'll show you how that works. Hopefully the SINCGARS, the ASIP radio is on and receiving, and should be able to now get the report of its position. I'll stick around for one more of these in 2 minutes, and I'll edit this down. Okay, hopefully you heard that beep. Again, that was it transmitting its location. Okay, so let's see what's going on now. I'm going to leave this out here, and I can show you where out here is. All right, it's on a little swing. Let's move the second radio. So the first radio was the one we programmed in the combat ID of threes, all threes. This is the radio with combat ID of all ones. And let's see that, let's also take a look at this, and let's put it into GPS display mode. Hopefully this is visible to you. There we go. GPS display mode, local position. And here, if you can see that, we already have a fix. We are in a different location now outside. We are in the back by the driveway, sort of a furthest spot away. Let's take a look a little wider here. We've got this little and well here, and I've sat it right on the edge here. And let's take a listen to this to see that it's also transmitting its location. Put the microphone right here. Yeah, hopefully you heard that. Okay, that's it. So let's go back inside and see what we've got. Okay, one thing I wanted to do before we show the map, I know that's the one we all want to see, is to look at the navigation display. And now we've got, not only do we have our current position here, by the way, even though it says 5, it's yellow. I think that means maybe it's not a good fix. Red means very bad fix, I would imagine, and we're hoping for green. But in either case, now what we see here is a list of reported positions. if you can, hope you can read all that. Situational awareness, absolute values, which is something that I selected, I chose in the setup of this enhanced control display unit. I told it to use absolute positions. I could have asked it to use relative positions. So, and what you see here is these are all the radios that are reporting in. You remember we set one, we just got a reception from one. So we've got all ones and all threes. Those are the two radios. And another interesting thing here is the time, is the elapsed time. 111, for example, has not reported in for 20 seconds. 3333 last reported in 49 seconds ago. Can you see all that? So 31 seconds ago, 57 seconds ago, and then there was the next most recent report from ones was 2 minutes 41 seconds ago, and this one's 3 minutes, not 10 seconds ago. And what you'll see is every 2 minutes, these radios out in the field will report in. And also, by the way, my radio here is also reporting out every 2 minutes. So for example, you see this one here, 333's, last reported in about a minute and a half ago. So in about 30 seconds from now, it will report in again, and it will be the new top, the most recent reporter on top of this list. And this one will move down, and you'll see that one is about a minute and 40 seconds away from reporting. So we'll just hold on to this so we can see this change. Okay, and if you heard that, you can see the 333 is now the top unit. Its radio having reported in about 10 seconds ago. And if you watch this 111, we're about 10 seconds away from it doing the latest update reporting. Yeah, there it is. You even might have heard it. One other thing I wanted to show here is that not only do these radios, all the radios, transmit their position every 2 minutes, but every time you do a transmission, you press push to talk. So you'll see one is the most recent. I just transmitted on this radio, essentially an audio transmission, and you'll see that 333 just showed up 6 seconds ago. So every time you press PTT, so for example, there's another 333. So there are two 333s and a 1. I'm going to press here again, push to talk on this radio, and you'll see there'll be 4 333s on the list. Yeah, and there it is. With 0 seconds ago, 2 seconds ago, 333, 333, 333. So it does update more frequently than every 2 minutes, assuming you're making audio transmissions. Okay, so now the moment you've all been waiting for is let's look at the map display. And again, you can see my house, which is that sort of elongated thing. The round is the radio, is my SINCGARS ASIP, which is what we're looking at, the display is connected to, and it's in my kitchen, which is in the back of the house. And now you can see these two units. Now, again, it's not that accurate right now, but you can see F11111, that's the friendly, that's the one that's out by the well. And it's exactly where it should be, like exactly. This one's a little off. This one should really be in the far corner of my house. It really should be around here because it's on the front porch of the house. But you can see it shows, and squares are the other ones. F probably means friendly, 111 and 333. So I wonder if there may need to be some calibration or something to that effect. But it's not that far off. I'd say it's probably just across the street. You know, maybe it's 60, 50 feet off. But the rest is really quite perfect. All ones is really perfect. Let's see if we could zoom in and just see how perfect it is. Yeah, okay, it's pretty perfect. It looks like it's over my garage when it should be just a little, maybe 10, 20 feet away from the garage, but I'd say that's pretty darn good. The key here is that this should continue to work at further distances as long as the radios are in radio contact with each other. And right now my antennas are, sort of folded up, and also everything's on low power. See that. And I'm going to take this radio here and just put it to my mouth and transmit. This is a test. This is a test. This is a test. So during that transmission, these radios were all frequency hopping, and there was nothing to indicate, nothing to sounded different. So again, I'll do this. This is a test. You really cannot hear anything different. Maybe a little grunge in the background, and that might be the 150 hertz squelch tone. Okay, as promised, we are going to look at the output of this Spearhead radio in frequency hopping mode, and we're going to look at it on the spectrum analyzer. This is an HP, what's the number here, 8566B. Used to get a lot of use in my shack, now not as much as it used to. So I'm a little rusty on exactly how to configure it, but I think I got it pretty close. So let's zoom in here. Hopefully you could read that pretty well. I have just this little right angle adapter and just some random rubber ducky antenna, clearly designed for a much higher frequency than 30 to 88, but that's what we've got. And we've just got that in there, and we'll take a measurement of the radio essentially off the air. And let's just make sure we're focused. Okay, now the other thing I'll show you is the frequency span. Start frequency, I hope you can see that. It says 30 megahertz. Let me make it a little brighter for you. And let's get, okay, so start is 30 megahertz, and stop frequency is 88 megahertz. Now, I did some looking up on this, and for F100, I think the frequency range was 30 to 80. I'll paste that in the bottom when I've got it exactly right. Okay, so all we're going to do now is going to take the radio and key it up and take a look and see what we get. Okay, as you can see, all of those individual peaks are components of the transmission. One little fraction of a second. Again, I'll look up the details on the hopping speed. I think it's 30 or 50, 10 to somewhere between 10 and 50 hops per second. All right, I just unkeyed. And the other thing we're going to do is we can put it in max hold mode. So this will keep the maximum signal on the display, and I'll key up. And that way you can see all of these are on 1 megahertz boundaries is my recollection. So 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, etc. And the order in which, I'll clear that out. The order in which those frequencies, take it out of max hold. Yeah, the order is determined by the key material, the cryptographical material loaded into the radio, and all the radios have to share some of the same cryptographic material in order for them to all know which frequency to tune to at any given point in time. It's quite an amazing technology, and I think we have Hedy Lamarr, the actress, to thank for all of this. Okay, that's it. I'll do it one more time with max hold. And there you have it. Frequency hopping technology.
Well, that about wraps her up for part 3 of the SINCGARS Situational Awareness video series. Please stay tuned for the 4th and final chapter, where we do some simulated troop movement. Please be sure to like and subscribe and ring the little bell so you can be notified of the final installment. Have a great day.